It's great to finally just be here and like, look, Shaun Taylor's still on board, everybody's still ready to go. So it's kind of a relief at this stage. I've had fights where guys have pulled out far later than this on me. There's still that little bit of like, I really just hope this all goes ahead and I hope there's no bullshit and it's all smooth sailing. But yeah, look, it's so far a relief, but there's that like little bit of like, it still could go wrong. So yeah, so look, early in my career I had a lot of pullouts. Like, I was an undefeated amateur and I think that kind of scared people a little bit. You know, I think between 1-0 and 2-0 I had like 5 pullouts, and between 2-0 and 3-0 I had like another 4 or 5. So I had far more fights that didn't happen than should have. Like, as in, I had more fights didn't occur than did occur. And that was obviously very frustrating because look, there's no money, there's nothing. You don't get any spotlight, you don't get any attention, you don't get to progress your career at all. So you're gutted every time this happens. You kind of go home and you're like, what am I doing? Like, you go home, sit on the couch and nothing, like no money, nothing. So thankfully, you know, things have actually picked up a bit, and now like Sky deal, Bellator, all this is actually happening, and I feel like, okay, your effort was justified here. There's a reason you were spending the last 9 years training your balls off for this. Like, so look, I'm gutted I had all those pullouts. There's nothing I can do about it at this stage. So it's like, just get on with it. And I'm kind of like, you know, I feel like complaining about all this shit, you know, the time for that was 2 years ago. Now it's about getting on and smashing the next guy. I'm focused on like making it a different narrative. Like, I'm kind of sick of that being the narrative of my career. People going, oh fuck Will, you've been screwed over really badly. It's like, yeah, fuck it, I don't care, I'm still here, I'm still ready to go. Like, so look, on the night the crowd is going to be huge, and apparently it's a sellout. You know, I've sold all my tickets anyway. I love that, as in, especially, but like, I've never got to fight in front of a massive crowd here in Ireland. Like, I've had maybe 2,000 max. I was in South Africa and I had about 10,000 at the fight, cheering against, like booing me and being against me. But still, you thrive on that energy because it is just an energy. So like, I've never had this big a crowd supporting me before. I think I'm going to utilize it pretty well, to be honest. And like, I'm just super excited about the whole night, to be honest. Like, as in, you know, jumping up on top of that cage after fucking knocking somebody out, it's going to be an amazing feeling. Like, so obviously I lost my first fight in Bellator, and that's the first fight I've ever lost. I feel like the main issue there, like, my training camp went unbelievably well. I was very satisfied with how I prepared for the whole thing. I just feel mentally I was a little bit complacent on the night. I really expected to win, and I didn't quite have that fear that I'd normally have entering into a competition like that. It was just, okay, you're going to beat this guy, he doesn't have the skill set you have. I'm ashamed of that because, like, I haven't been raised in that environment where you're cocky. I haven't been raised in that kind of, you know, expectation to win. I've worked for everything. I've worked for the skill set I have. I've worked for all my victories. Look, he was like, I was dominating that fight as well until I got caught, and it was complacency that got me caught. It was a lack of fear from what he had. You have to respect everybody. I feel like this Saturday, look, I have a bit of respect for Shaun Taylor, but it's also just about being vicious and getting in there and getting it done. So look, I've been saying this for a while. Shaun Taylor, he's a decent opponent, he has a decent record, but he's basically a fat welterweight, like, you know. And that's the reality of it. Like, he's a guy who used to be a welterweight, now a middleweight. Doesn't look any different body-wise, just he's got a fucking spare tire around him, like. So that's a 7 kilos of like blob on him. Yeah, look, like, he's obviously got a half-decent skill set in certain ways, and it's about figuring that out, like, and just kind of breaking him down bit by bit. I think, like, he has some pretty big natural disadvantages entering into this, and also the fact that I'm coming off my first loss and the fact that I'm unbelievably hungry just to fucking smash it now. And like, this is the biggest opportunity in my career to date. Like, I've been working my balls off for 9 years to get to this point. It's gonna take a hell of a fucking, it could be Megatron in there, I'd beat the shit out of him, like, you know. So look, Shaun Taylor got the wrong guy at the wrong time, poor fucker, you know.